boys and girls, babies in your diapers. Welcome to the Tiberius Show with your host, Tiberius Hoy.
That's me, Tiberius. Today we're going to talk about some very awesome stuff. We have a video about becoming a pianist, a book about mapping in Minecraft, and we have a totally awesome guest. Today we have the one, the only, the amazing Dr. Diez. Dr. Diez is a chiropractor in Central Florida. He helps people with back problems.
Yes, I do. And thank you so much for that awesome intro.
You're welcome. And today we're going to start off with the video game of the week, and this is going to be a classic.
And now it's time for the video game of the week.
Now it's time for the video game of the week. Today's video game is Piano Keyboard. So this is a game on the Roblox platform. It was made by Nick Patella. Because it is on Roblox, you're able to play it on PC, Mac, Xbox, and even your cell phone. And it is free! Now this game is for people that play the piano or want to learn. So I enter the game and boy does this place look cool. You are in front of a keyboard and you go to one of them and you look and you can play the piano with your keyboard, which is connected to your PC. For all those PC players, you can see what letter / number / or symbol to make a sound, and you can make music. Also, there are 5 keyboards on one side of the map and 5 pianos on the other side. You can watch videos on YouTube to learn how to play the piano, and you can see what to type. Also, it is very fun because other people in the game can also hear what you are playing. So you can share your compositions. I can already play 3 songs.
Right on.
I give Piano Keyboard 10 out of 10 stars because it was so much fun to make music because then you can play it for others and you can use Roblox. Now, is that not cool?
Yes, it is. I have an Xbox, so you said that I can get that on Xbox?
Well, yeah, but you can maybe only play it on PC because you do need a keyboard.
Oh, I need a keyboard.
True.
Oh, okay.
So maybe only for PC players.
Good point.
Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties, contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org. The Tiberius Show would like to thank one of our dedicated sponsors, Custom Designs Orlando. These guys are on Mills Avenue and do all sorts of stuff, ranging from photo ID badges, engraved signs, custom Braille ADA signs, vinyl lettering, to trophies and awards. They can ship products all over the United States. You can reach them at 407-898-0373. And I'll stop with the book of the week, The Unofficial Guide to Minecraft Maps. This book is written by Linda Zach. Now, Linda is awesome. She came on the show over a year ago, and she gave me a copy of her book before it was released. So now, she remembered me and sent me her newest book. Remember to the back of the book. In fact, Dr. Diez, do you want to do the honors?
I would love to. Let's check this out. So this is the unofficial guide to Minecraft maps, and on the back, we have what do you do if you get lost in Minecraft? You use a map. Learn how maps are made, what they can do, and how you can make them your own. And then see how maps can be a real lifesaver when you're in your Minecraft world. What will you build? That sounds pretty cool.
With maps, it's pretty fun, and I'll teach you. So first off, this is not an AR book. You don't get any points for reading it, but it is a book about Minecraft maps and how to make them. Okay, so first the book explains how to make the map and how to make waypoints and have a map on you. So you can make a map or find one. So when you make one, it is blank. So you have to travel around the world to populate it and get color on the map. You can, make waypoints by right-clicking on banners. You can also mark other people's houses and villages, mines, iron and gold, and diamonds, and as well as your house, and a lot of other stuff that you need to label.
Pretty cool. So if you make the map, then you actually create the world as you're making the map, right?
Oh, you can put maps on a wall with frames and put the maps in the right order on the wall to make a huge map. There's a bit more to it, but I will let you figure that out when you read the book.
I'm going to have to because I don't know how to do this by myself. I'm going to need some guidance here, so I'm glad I have this.
Okay. So I give the Unofficial Guide to Minecraft Maps 10 out of 10 stars because, well, first I got to meet the author. Oh, and well, I really thought it was cool to make maps and get home quickly. I also really like that you can make a huge map by putting them together on a wall.
That would be a good conversation piece in your living room, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. Or your game room. We're better than a game room.
Smith.com.
You can call him at 407-801-2667.
Wait, you are not Chuck.
My dad can help when people get hurt. He loves to help.
If you are ever injured at work or in a car accident, you should call my friend Chuck.
You can call him at 407-801-2667.
That website again is cwsmithlaw.com.
Offices, Orlando.
Does it actually have that much W's?
Mid-State Fire has been providing top-quality fire equipment services for 3 generations to the Central Florida area. Don't wait for an emergency to repair. Call Mid-State Fire today at 407-246-8855. Get your fire extinguishers and emergency lighting for both your home and businesses by visiting www.midstatefire.com. That number again is 407-246-8855. And now it's time for the interview of an interesting person. Today's guest is going to be so much fun. Today we have the one, the only, the amazing Dr. Diez. Dr. Diez is a chiropractor in Central Florida. He helps people with back problems.
Thank you for that awesome intro. Yes, I do. That is what I do as a chiropractor in Orlando. Thank you.
So first off, how are you enjoying being on the show?
This has been an amazing experience. I love it. I'm having a ton of fun, and this is a very, very unique show. I can tell you that much.
So, you are a chiropractor. Can you tell my listeners what that means?
Yeah, so as doctors of chiropractic, we focus on the spine and the nervous system. So basically, the chiropractic premise is that the body is a self-healing organism, right? So if you cut your finger, your body heals itself, right? If you stub your toe and get a bruise, your body heals itself. If you have a virus like a cold or a cough, your body has an immune system and heals itself from that. Now, your brain and nervous system is the part of your body that makes sure that all of these things work together, right? And so within your spine, we have a big chunk of your nervous system in there. It's essentially what connects your brain to the rest of your body. And so there's a lot of impulses and information that run through that spine. So if your spine is bent or twisted or misaligned or injured or degenerated, it's going to have some kind of negative effect on your nervous system. And we don't want that. We don't want anything messing with our nervous system. So as chiropractors, we just want to focus on having healthy, well-maintained spine so that our nervous system can be working optimally and we can be just fully living at our finest and best.
Okay, so can you help my dad with his bad back?
Well, I did not know he had a bad back, but I'm sure that we could help him out one way or another.
Okay. So how is that different from a doctor in a hospital?
Well, doctors in hospitals are mainly medical doctors, and there's many different specialties in medical doctors. You have, your osteopaths, or you have your orthopedists, or your neurologists, or neurosurgeons, and many other doctors' specialties, cardiologists. And in the hospital, if you go there, you'll probably be treated for some sort of medical condition that they can help you out with depending on what the problem area is. Chiropractors don't typically work in a hospital setting. We typically work in a clinical setting on our own, and we generally just treat patients from the general public or people that have been injured, like a car accident or sports injury, and we just treat them in our own offices.
Okay, so how do you fix people's backs?
Well, The chiropractic adjustment is typically a manipulation of the spine where we basically move a bone or the vertebra from where it is to where it should be. And there's definitely some different techniques and ways of doing it. Sometimes we use instruments, sometimes we use our bare hands, sometimes we use special tables and equipment to do that job, depending on what who the person is or the extent of the problem is. But basically, we just want to help relieve pressure and tension off the spine and make the person feel better.
Okay, so what's the best part about being a chiropractor?
I think the best part about being a chiropractor is having that one-on-one contact with my patients. We work with our hands. There's a lot of just working hands-on. It's not the type of doctor where we just stand apart from each other and we just write prescriptions, or we really get in there with the patient. There's a lot of rapport, and we really want to just get our hands on the problem. If it's a tight muscle, work it out with our hands. If it's a stiff back, work it with our hands. So that's what I enjoy, the contact part of it.
Okay, so why did you decide to go into chiropractic rather than working in a hospital?
Cool story. Well, if you ask most chiropractors, they'll probably tell you that they had a personal experience with chiropractic, and that's what got them into it. And I'm no exception. I was about 15 or 16 years old, and I was a soccer player at the time, and I hurt my back playing sports. I kind of twisted or landed on my back awkwardly, and I had a little bit of back pain. And my dad, thankfully at the time, said, "You're going to go see my chiropractor." And he took me to go see his chiropractor, and he adjusted me, and I felt amazing. I loved what happened. I recovered, and I was so impressed by that experience, and then I started to get adjusted regularly after that. And I decided to kind of pursue that path. I always knew that I wanted to be a doctor or do something in healthcare. I just didn't know what. And chiropractic seemed to fit that model for me quite well.
Okay. So what's the hardest part about being a chiropractor?
For me, I think the biggest challenge of being a chiropractor is all the things that happen on the back end or on the administrative end, or say on the business end, right? Because being a chiropractor, for me, I went to school for that, and I find that part enjoyable and fun, and I get involved in it. But then there's so much more that goes into being a chiropractor, like running a business and maintaining all the files and paperwork and data, and that part is the hardest part for me.
Okay. So is it easier to work on a man or a woman?
I would say they're both equally the same. Everybody with a spine is different, so some patients, regardless of whether they're a man or a woman, will be different. Some are easier, some are harder. It doesn't matter who they are.
So what makes working on a patient easier or harder?
What makes working on a patient easier or harder? A lot of the times it's how long the problem or condition has been there. So the longer a problem has been there, the harder it is to get rid of. So if a person tells me I've had this problem for 10, 20 years, well, working on that might take a while until they start to feel better. Their back might be really stiff and tight. But if the problem just started a week ago, well, maybe we can kind of get to it and make them feel better fairly fast.
Okay. So my dad is fat. Does weights make it easier or harder?
It can sometimes, but not necessarily always will. I've had larger patients that are fairly easy to adjust as well, so that's really not an exact way to say this is going to be a difficult patient or not.
Okay. So I had a massage therapist on the show a few weeks ago. What do you do different?
So massage therapist, it basically works on the soft tissues of the body, like the muscles, right? And so if you have a tight muscle or limited range of motion, massage therapist is a great alternative to try and get that muscle to loosen and relax. We work on the spine and the nervous system. So we work, you could say, on the hard tissue, which is the bones. So I work on the bones in the spine and the joints, and the massage therapist works on the muscles.
Okay. So when you were a kid, what did you want to do when you grew up? Did you always want to be a chiropractor?
No, the earliest thing I can remember wanting to be as a kid was a marine biologist. I was really interested in the sea and the ocean and sharks and fish and turtles and all marine wildlife. I was really into that as a young kid. And then as I got older, I started to get more interested in anatomy and the human body, and that kind of led me towards chiropractic.
Okay. So who helped motivate or inspire you in the most involvement in your dream?
In my dream, to be a chiropractor, well, I would definitely have to say my first experience with chiropractic. So my chiropractor at the time, that became a bit of a mentor and kind of showed me what it was like. He obviously was a huge influence because here I am now. And then my family that has always been there for me to help out. And my mom, who was a massage therapist. And so growing up around a massage therapist also helped to kind of have an interest in the human body and anatomy.
Okay. Have you ever worked on someone famous, and were you nervous while working on them?
I guess I can say so. I had the pleasure and privilege of working on, I did not know this at the time, but I guess a fairly well-known race car driver. And he lives in Europe, and he came to the United States to be a part of a race. I don't know if you're familiar with the 24-hour Daytona race that they do every year. Well, he was here for that. And he found me. I had no idea who this guy was, but I learned later on that he was quite a big shot. So that was my surprise.
Okay. So if you could go back 10 years or so years or something, what would it be?
Let me see. If I could go back 10 years and tell myself something, what would it be? That's such a great question. What could I do? Maybe start work sooner, like finish school earlier, maybe save a year or two and save some time. Maybe I would try to do that.
Oh, what was the biggest mistake you ever made, and how did it change you as a person?
What was the biggest mistake I ever made? I had a knee injury that I injured my knee doing silly, not so smart things, and it required surgery. And it affected my ability to play sports the way that I used to. And so I definitely learned from that mistake physically, but it made me realize that there is so much more to be interested in life than just physical activity. So I started to develop other hobbies and passions that were more less sport oriented, and that opened a whole new world for me.
Okay. So what advice would you give my listeners if they wanted to grow up and become a chiropractor?
What advice would I give the listeners to want to grow up to be a chiropractor? Well, definitely know that you want to be make sure that you want to be in healthcare, that there's something that's a passion of yours, helping people, being a doctor. Obviously in the healthcare industry, there's always challenges, but it is very fulfilling and rewarding work when you get to help somebody, when you get to improve their quality of life, when they have a particular problem that's ailing them and you help to remove that. That's very, very satisfying and rewarding. As far as advice, just be prepared to be in school for a while, and you'll get through it.
Okay, so do masks work?
Do masks work? Well, I think that the general consensus is that they do, right? There is some debate about that, but I am not an infectious disease expert. But I believe that in the general sense of what we need them to do at this point in time, we can say that yes.
Okay, so when you're not fixing people's backs, what do you do for fun?
Well, for fun, I enjoy basketball. That's one of my favorite sports. I've played it most of my life. I'm not doing so much of that anymore. So for fun now, I just spend time at home with my kids, watching them grow up and playing with them and just enjoying the family life. I like to cook. I'm very big on cooking. I love preparing my own food. And other than that, sometimes I'll play a little Xbox and maybe I'll check out that Roblox.
So do you play video games, and what's your favorite one?
I do play video games. I've played video games ever since I was a little kid. I'm part of that Nintendo generation and have played ever since. Now, today, there's a pretty cool game. It's called Rocket League. It's like soccer with cars.
Yes.
You like it?
Yes.
Yes. Isn't it fun?
Yes, it's so much fun on PC.
Yeah.
Like, it's so hard on PC, though. But it's so easy on Xbox.
Yep.
Like, what the?
Yeah.
What? How is it so much easier? All I gotta do is press B to boost. Zoom.
Because the control's different. So
See, but how to boost is better on PC, because if you use the mouse, you can just right click. So, what is your favorite book to read?
My favorite book to read. One of the books that I most enjoyed reading was a book called The Prophet by a guy named Khalil Gibran. That was a very, very influential book.
Well, is there anything else you think my listeners should know about you?
I've been an Orlando resident for over 10 years. I've been a chiropractor for over 10 years. I've had my own practice for about 4.5 years now. I'm located just a little south of downtown on Curry Ford Road. The name of the practice is Kaizen Chiropractic Solutions, and we are here to help you out.
Well, do you have a website or Facebook for my listeners who want to follow you?
Absolutely. On Facebook, it's Kaizen. That's Kaizen, Chiropractic Solutions. And the website is KaizenChiropracticSolutions.com.
So, what's that one question that you think I forgot to ask you?
What does Kaizen mean?
Well, what does it mean?
Well, it's a word in Japanese. And the reason we chose that word is that Kaizen stands for the principle of continuous improvement. And so it's like that relentless pursuit of perfection, always wanting to get better and improve. And so in the context of healthcare and wellness, I think it's appropriate because when we are helping our patients every day, they get a little bit better. And they're always improving and always healing. And so are we as people. We're always getting better.
True. Well, thank you, Dr. Diez, for being my special guest. Can you stick around for Math Corners?
I would love to.
Aw, Dad, my computer's slow again and I can't play my games.
Call Your Computer Solutions today, and we will scan for viruses and clean that computer up remotely and make it fast again. Our phone number is 407-826-0810.
Thanks, Dad. My computer's fast again. Now I can do my homework. Thanks for calling Your Computer Solutions at 407-826-0810. The Tiberius Show would like to thank Boggy Creek Airboat Adventures for being one of our sponsors. I got to go on an airboat and saw a real gator. I even got to go to the gem mine and mine for some gems. We ate a steak dinner at the restaurant and even got some gator bites. If you want to have a blast with the entire family, I suggest you go to www.bcairboats.com right now. Get your tickets today. The website again is bcairboats.com. Oak Ridge Gun Range is a family-oriented shooting range that has been in business for over 30 years. They specialize in basic firearm training and offer numerous services such as consignments, gun trades, gunsmithing, and concealed weapon classes. I even got my training for gun safety at Oak Ridge Gun Range. Great customer service, and firearm safety is what they do best. So find out more at oakridgegunrange.com.
Tiberius' favorite subject, it's Math Corners!
Thank you, Dr. Diez, for your help with Math Corners. So I tried to learn how math is used in chiropractors, and well, there were a lot of stuff about geometry and so forth. Most of it was very confusing, and then my dad asked me about how the human body is like a lever. So I looked up and I found that there are 3 kinds of levers. Each lever has a fulcrum, which is where the lever rotates, and an input force or effort, which is where the work is, and an output force or the load, which is the movement. So there are 3 classes of levers. So the first class lever is like your mouth. If you use your jaw, the fulcrum, which uses your muscles, and the work is to crunch down on the food, the load. And the food is technically the load. The second class lever is like a wheelbarrow. The fulcrum is the wheel, and your arms are the work, and the load is the stuff in the wheelbarrow. Finally, you get the most common type of lever. The third class lever is like your arm. The fulcrum is your elbow, and the work is your arm. And the load is what is in your hand. So you use the muscles in your arm to pull up what is in your hand, like this.
Mm-hmm.
See how you use the fulcrum?
Exactly.
Moves it up.
Exactly.
So, yeah. It's kind of like a trebuchet catapult.
Yeah, catapult. Exactly. Okay, I get it.
So it kind of goes like. So yeah, it's kind of like that. So Dr. Diez, I cannot find a second press lever in the body. Do you know of one?
Oh boy, put me on the spot right there, huh? Let me
Yeah.
see. If I had to review off the top of my head, you mentioned the jaw, you mentioned the elbow, which is the one, and the knee, which is the one that we all think about when we look at a lever, and the jaw. What about the foot?
The foot.
Yeah, when you step, when you push down on your foot, you see how your heel comes up like that? You push down on your toes and your heel comes up.
That is true. Because when I'm like walking, there's like when I'm walking, I go like this.
And then you
And my
put,
heel comes up. Then and then my heel comes up.
yeah, and you can point your toes up like that and kind of put your weight on their heel. There you go. So you can change that foot lever action.
Okay, so, well, on that note, thank you so much, Dr. Diez, for your help with Math Corners.
Thank you very much for having me. My pleasure.
And now it's time for the Heart of a Lion. As you know, we talk about qualities of living by the Heart of a Lion. It stands for leadership, integrity, obedience, and nobility. This week, we're going to talk about leadership. For me, I think leadership is the act of loving what is good, having self-control, and being disciplined. The qualities of leadership are providing guidance and direction, organization, and being a positive influence on others. But part of leadership is teaching others to be a leader. My dad's birthday has passed. My mom decided to work with me so that I could make the decisions on what we are going to do. This means I get to organize the day and decide where we're going to go and what to do. This forces me to be the leader for a day. So I need to ensure to provide the direction and also to make sure that it is fun for everyone that is going. My mom has been guiding me, so I think of all the people involved and ensure everyone has a fun and positive day. Teaching someone to be a leader in itself, showing everyone leadership skills. So Dr. Diez, did you see or use leadership at all this week?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's part of our day-to-day life and our weekly life. Every day, as a doctor, we want to express nobility, be a good influence to our patients and be honest and truthful to them. As business owners, we want to display leadership and, encourage our helpers and our own patients as well to, be better and have a positive day and experience. And it's part of what makes our day-to-day life. You're absolutely correct.
Okay. So of all the Heart of a Lion virtues, which is your favorite?
I think integrity. I think integrity is my favorite. We want to lead by example, right? And so if we want to be a good leader, we also have to have integrity and display and be honest and truthful and upfront. And I think after that, everything else follows.
We should always try and be lion strong in everything we do, shouldn't we?
Absolutely.
And that's our show, folks. I want to thank the one, the only, the amazing Dr. Diez for being on my show. It has been so much fun talking with you today. Maybe one day I can see your office and how it all works.
I would love to have you there. I think you'd have a lot of fun seeing how the office works. I would love to absolutely have you there. Well, thank you so much for having me. It has been an absolute blast being here. If anybody needs to reach out to me and know a little bit more of how I may be able to help them, they can always give us a call, 407-613-5800, or look us up on the web, Kaizen, K-A-I-Z-E-N, Chiropractic Solutions.
Okay. And be sure to listen to us next week on the Tiberius Show with our host, Tiberius! Boom!
The Tiberius Show is not filmed in front of a live studio audience. Executive producer Joseph Boyd, production editor Pierre Laguerre, Green Room manager Danny Boyd, and your program host Tiberius Boy. The Tiberius Show is copyright 2018.